Is it okay to let your children drink non-alcoholic beer? Have you heard of this one?
No, this must be fresh off the kitchen.
2 days ago, actor Kristen Bell thinks so. So what happens here is apparently... let's get the context here because I don't want to murder this girl. Her husband...
Yeah, Dak Shepard.
Who's an alcohol...
Arguably, they're a Hollywood couple that has withstood the
well, they're getting some storms now because of these comments.
Well, yeah.
But effectively what happens is as a baby, because he's had addiction problems in the past, right?
Yes.
He would have... When he would walk his daughter, he would have like a non-alcoholic beer at nighttime, apparently, right?
Okay.
And the daughter, I think, would just pour at it as a kid,
as kids do,
and then like just take it like as kids do, right?
Yeah.
And I think he'd allow it a little bit, right? Because it's non-alcoholic, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's gotten to the point where this kid is a little bit older. Not like we're talking. I'm looking at the age.
It must be must be from 4 to now
something
6.
like that, right? So they're in a restaurant, and the kid is saying, "Can I have a non-alcoholic beer?" And Kristen's saying, "Maybe let's leave that for home, baby," right?
Yeah.
So she's aware of the social connotations.
Yep.
But let's open to the question because I'm a non-alcoholic beer convert at the moment. Yeah. Let's just put it that way.
He's lobbying for all pubs to have non-alcoholic beer.
Seriously, it's the fucking 22nd century. If you don't have non-alcoholic, anyway, whatever.
Know your customers, guys.
But question: Is it okay for a child to have non-alcoholic beer, and why not if it isn't, according to you?
Look, I thanks for giving the context to how this came about.
The context is important because otherwise you just get smashed.
I think it is.
Wait, how does the context lead to in this story lead to anything better?
No, because I think it does point that example does point out the key difference, right?
Yeah.
The home setting versus a social public setting.
So it's okay to have it at home? Is that what you're saying?
Well, look. My own personal view, actually, I don't know. My personal view might change when that
bridge is crossed. Yep.
Yeah, when we pass that bridge. At the moment, it feels like no. Why would you even like try? Because that's
it's making it okay.
Then bridges onto something else, right? Potentially, yep. But you also we also have to remember we're not the parents in this situation, and I'm sure that they have their reason to do that because, there's some, I don't know what the research is, but they do say that, there is something about giving early exposure to your kids on some of this stuff can actually prevent them from jumping into alcoholism or drugs or stuff like that. If you kind of let them away, yeah. Again, I probably have to go actually find it and whatnot, but I do remember hearing about it's better to kind of let them know what it is and let them experience it now so that they can help form their view of what it is and if it's bad, as opposed to saying, if it's completely bad, of course kids are going to rebel and they're going to want to do it anyway, right?
Yep.
I mean, vaping for crying out loud, right? So
it's an interesting one.
So my stance is no, but again, I can understand if it is non-alcoholic, why a parent would think that's okay. Again, it's up to the parent, I think, to make that call. Because I'm not going to parenting is just, as I'm just learning, parenting is very hard.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should condemn. Again, probably the whole theme of this show is let's not jump to conclusions on situations that we don't know anything about.
Let's put some clickbaity titles.
Oh gosh,
and
which is
thumbnails
ultimately
like this.
Which is ultimately, it's just
part of the game.
It is what it is. Yeah. What do you think about it?
I think it's an interesting conversation. Yeah, it's no. It's a no now. It's definitely no. To me, it's akin to saying, let's give chocolates to kids that are in the shape of weed or something like that. It's a terrible example.
I was terrified for what you were going to say next.
It's a terrible example, but there's certain things that they just don't need that encouragement any early on, effectively.
It's a weird time that we're coming into, right?
But the interesting thing is non-alcoholic drinks and alternatives are are coming in like this is not a thing. It wasn't a thing almost 5 years ago. Definitely wasn't a thing a decade ago, right?
And this is the thing as well, right? Sorry, I just need to say, it's like your own view of something at one given point of time can ultimately change because as you find out more information, right? Like it's...
To me, yeah.
And to be condemned for it...
Yeah, it's hard, but let kids be kids. Like alcohol and alcohol alternatives. So I had this question because you can only buy non-alcoholic beer in alcoholic shops, right? So I actually...
Really?
Yeah. Don't worry about Aldi and that, but like you still need to show your thing, which is basically...
But why?
Because it's still classified as an alcohol object. That's the irony of it. So I asked this question to someone that's there and I'm just asked the question, even though... Do I have to still give you my license even though it's a non-alcohol? And he said, yeah. The answer is yes. So there's still that blurring lines. I don't know about the taxable component of that. And I'm sure that they're going to... I mean, most of these non-alcoholic drinks are like 70% of an alcoholic. They're even more expensive in certain cases.
Yeah, because of the
insane.
The economics of it all, right?
It's insane. But let kids be kids.
And that's the thing.
You don't
to
want
your point, to your point, it's, again... Policy is forever changing based on human kind of understanding, right? So what am I trying to say here? It's still an evolving thing. So like a stance for right now, just based on what you know, could easily change down the track.
As a legal stance, but like everyone has their own personal stance. But I think in this example, Kristen knows... Kristen.
Kirsten?
That... socially, it's so that's why she's like, let's keep that for home.
How did she bring it up? Was it in his podcast or something? Or
you know that talk show that Kelly Clarkson has?
Oh, okay.
It was there.